Alright, so a no bullshit guide on how to go taller. So in my freshman year of high school, I think I went into high school and I was 90 pounds and like 4'11 or 4'10 or something like that. And then I didn't really grow much freshman year. And the beginning of sophomore year, I was about 5 foot. And now at the beginning of senior year, I was 5'10. So I grew about 10 inches in 2 years. I know you've seen all these other videos about how to go taller where they tell you that they did downward dog for 6 hours and they suddenly grew 2 feet. But I wanted to give you some practical steps that I wish I would have seen when I was in my early teenage years. So in this video, I wanted to condense everything I've learned from the past few years into something that's easy to understand and simple and actionable for you to do. So step one is to eat a lot of food. This is the main one. You want to be in a calorie surplus, so you should be bulking. And these calories shouldn't come from junk food. They should be from healthy foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals. So step number two, you need to be sleeping a lot. Growth hormone and testosterone are both produced while you're sleeping. And so you need to be getting at least 8 to 10 hours. People say 8 to 10 hours, but it's really more like 9.5 to 10 hours. So I would just recommend spending at least 10 hours in bed. That's my dog, my bad. So I would recommend spending about 10 hours in bed, and then I usually end up sleeping about 9 to 9.5 hours if I spend 10 hours in bed. And then step number three would be sunlight. So this is something I recently learned about, but you should be spending about 25 to 30 minutes in sunlight. It depends on your skin color, so it could be less than 25 minutes if you're very light skinned, or if you're darker skinned, it could be even more than 30 minutes, but just be careful because you don't want to mess up your skin or get any sun damage. When you spend time in sun, your testosterone increases and also your mood increases, and testosterone helps to trigger growth spurts. So the final step, step number four, is to be doing some type of exercise at least 5 to 6 times a week. It could be cardio or weightlifting, something like that. For cardio, it should be about 30 to 60 minutes per day, and for weightlifting, it should be at least an hour. Weightlifting is good because since you have to eat a lot for growing taller, you may as well couple it with bulking you may as well couple it with lifting so you can gain muscle while you gain height. Because you don't want to grow a ton, but then you're like skinny. You should have some like proportion to your weight and height. So once you do these actionable steps, I want you to try to put it sort of out of your mind because it can cause a lot of mental strain and anxiety if you're short and you're thinking about it. I remember when I was short, I was like, it weighed on me a lot, not knowing if I would grow, or I just spent way too much mental energy thinking about it when I could have been doing other productive things. Keep in mind that height is about 80% genetic, but that still means that you have about 20% to control, which is pretty good if you think about it. Because let's say your genetic potential is about 6'2". Maybe your dad was 6 foot and your mom was 5'8" or something like that. That means that 72 inches times 0.2 for 20% would be about 14 inches that you can control. So that's the difference between being 5'5" and 6'2". And that might be a bit extreme. That's saying if you have like completely terrible habits. But let's say maybe you don't sleep a whole lot, but it's okay. Maybe you got like 8 hours of sleep, but it's really 7, and you eat kind of shitty food. Maybe you don't really eat enough, or you eat kind of junk food, McDonald's, some ice cream, something like that. Maybe your parents fed you like cookies for dinner. I don't know. So maybe you'll end up being 5'10", but it's still a pretty big difference. I mean, 5'10" to 6'2", like that's 4 inches. I mean, that's a lot. Like, that's a lot, man, right? Yeah, it's a lot. So a quick summary for the TikTok brain people among us. So one would be sleep about 10 hours, or try to get at least 10 hours in bed. So if you have to wake up at 7, that would be 9 p.m. Then number two would be try to eat a lot of healthy food. It shouldn't come from junk food or anything like that. And try to get all your vitamins. If you want to check what vitamins you need or which ones you're deficient in, you could try going on Chronometer. It's an app called Chronometer. And you could just try logging 1 or 2 days, and it'll tell you all your vitamins and everything that you're missing. So number three was sunlight. You should be getting around 30 minutes of sunlight per day, but it depends on your skin color, so you can look that up. And just be careful, you don't want to get too much sun damage or anything like that. And then finally, make sure you're getting exercise at least 5 to 6 times a week and walking between 8 and 12,000 steps per day. So if you enjoyed this video, if you found it valuable, I'd appreciate a subscribe. Yeah, have a good one. Peace.